Not working? We have to stop it.
We're good. I won't fit English one. Have you started recording? Yeah. I will stop recording and start.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining our webinar today. South African Airways Vacations presents Discover the Cape Winelands. My name is Cheryl Velser. I'm the Director of Agency Sales here at South African Airways Vacations. And thank you very much for spending time with us today. So, besides our warm welcome to you on discovering the Cape Winelands, in this short presentation, you'll discover what lies just beyond Cape Town for you to explore. Beyond the culture, warm hospitality of its people, the Big Five, lies a country where food and wine are also the stars. South African Airways Vacations is actually a division of South African Airways. We're located in Tucson, Arizona. The company called Destination Southern Africa, or DSA Vacations, actually operates this program, as this happens with other airline branded programs. We offer over 70 air-inclusive packages to both East and Southern Africa, plus the Indian Ocean Islands. They can all be found on our website, which is www.flysAAvacations.com. We feel we have the most variety out in the market. There's a lot of flexibility with time and price in our itineraries, and of course, our programs include 4- and 5-star accommodations. We have name recognition of the properties used. They're all very well located. And of course, the large number of passengers we do send to East and Southern Africa, the larger the volume, the better the pricing. Breakfast is always included, and there's nothing like a South African breakfast. Full English breakfast is offered at all the hotels, and of course the game lodges include full board, conservation fees, and your wonderful safari activities. Our departures are go any day, so as long as there's a seat available and the accommodations are available, you can go. With all of our programs, we include ground transfers and scheduled sightseeing per the itinerary. We offer seat and coach. These are scheduled touring, or we can offer private car sightseeing. We have flexibility of time and price in all the itineraries, and you can customize any of these programs, or we can create a totally tailor-made one just for you. Our individuals and groups start at 10 passengers. We offer economy air, and of course, if you decide to travel in business class, we can offer that as well at additional cost. We can meet most budgets. We offer in-country assistance while you're there should any challenge arise. And of course, if you decide to do some self-driving, we offer free car rental. So this was just a short commercial on what we can offer. And of course, with all of our programs, flights are included. The configuration in economy is 2, 4, and 2, as you see in the lower left-hand corner. And you're never more than one seat from the aisle. We're South African Airways is part of the Star Alliance. We offer economy flights from JFK or Washington, D.C., which is Washington Dulles. Those are our 2 gateways. There are easy connections from JFK to East Africa. The flight from JFK actually leaves in the morning, nonstop to Johannesburg. The flight from Washington Dulles leaves in the late afternoon, and of course you arrive in Johannesburg their time, the late afternoon, but you can still make those connections down to Cape Town. We also include the internal flights within Africa. Taxes and fees are always included. And of course, if you're traveling from a city in the U.S. that is not one of the gateways, we do offer a number of air add-ons from U.S. cities. and of course premium business class is available. Everything is close once you arrive. The port of entry for South African Airways in South Africa is Johannesburg. You go through immigration, you retrieve your luggage, you clear customs, and of course if you have that connecting flight, it's very easy to recheck your bags on South African Airways just outside the customs area so you can connect on and meet your luggage at your final destination. So just to understand how large the continent of Africa is, this is like a frequent misconception of U.S. travelers. And you can see you can fit all those countries into the continent of Africa. So it's not as always, it's not like flying across the United States. There's some time involved in getting around. Sometimes you're transiting Johannesburg more than you would like. But they're adding actually more and more direct service between different points in southern Africa. So, like I said, easy connections within South Africa. Johannesburg to Cape Town is just 2 hours and 10 minutes. Normally, our programs start off in Cape Town with 4 nights, and then the clients travel up to Kruger National Park for their safari experience, even though there's a number of other safari experiences throughout southern Africa. But the Cape Town to Kruger National Park airports, usually around 2 hours, 2.5 hours, but under 3 hours. If you're flying from Johannesburg over to Kruger, again, that's just about an hour flight. There are 9 provinces of South Africa, and we're going to talk a little bit more on the Cape Winelands in the Western Cape region. So that's what we're going to focus on today. The Cape Winelands enjoys a Mediterranean climate with cool, wet winters and warm, dry summers. Remember, they're opposite seasons in that area of the world. Rain usually falls between May and August. The best time to visit is the Winelands is between September and April. And just remember the harvest season is February and March, and that's when the vineyards are very busy. The Cape's 18 official wine routes and 2 brandy routes are among the most scenic in the world. So besides sampling all the wine, you're going to have a chance to see incredibly beautiful scenery. They feature many historic wine estates that date back centuries. And you can take your time exploring this magnificent part of South Africa's Western Cape province while enjoying and sampling its many magnificent wines and brandies. The Route Constantia wine estate dates back to 1865. And the Cape Winelands is the origin of some of the world's most popular wines, are a premier Western Cape visitor attraction. Wine tasting, winemaking tours, excellent cuisine, and magnificent scenery collectively create an irresistible attraction for international and local travelers alike. South Africa's winelands stretch from the Cape Overberg in the southwestern Cape through the Little Karoo and the west coast into the adjacent province of the Northern Cape. There's also wine farms in the Free State, KwaZulu-Natal, and even up in the Johannesburg area. The Cape Winelands are the most well-known and include the Route 62 wine route, which is said to be the world's longest wine route. So you see, here's the area. You see where there's Cape Town. You see where there's the N2, N7, and N1 roadways. But the Cape 62 route is this route right here. It actually takes you through some of the most beautiful areas and also a number of wine estates. The Cape Winelands, again, have some of the most breathtakingly beautiful in the world. Several of the wine routes include Constantia, Stellenbosch, Paarl, and Franschhoek, and they're all within an hour or less easy driving distance from Cape Town. And here's an image of the Cape 62 wine route. If you We encourage you to drive. It is on the left side of the road. And remember, we offer that free car rental for self-drive programs. But you can also do this with private guiding and transfers. So you see the Route 62. Again, it stretches from over in the wine region outside of Cape Town all the way over to Port Elizabeth. The wine routes of South Africa not only trace the history and development of our country's 350-year-old winemaking tradition, but it also is a good example of experiencing their democracy. The Cape Winelands and beyond offer a multitude of wine routes to explore, along with the brandy routes, wine biodiversity routes, and of course, again, it's the world's longest wine route. It extends again from Cape Town to Port Elizabeth, and also has this brandy route, which is really quite interesting. There are a number of travelers inquiring on itineraries that include food and wine experiences. We can handle the restaurant suggestions if you have any interest in some of the wonderful restaurants that are quite well known in that part of the world. There's also a trend to include a private Winelands tour. This way you can accommodate your wine visits to your taste, whether it be red or white or sparkling wine. You can do it as a day visit from Cape Town, or you can just stay in the Winelands. The average stay in the Winelands is around 2 nights, 2 to 3 nights. That'll give you 1 full day or just 2 full days of visiting all those wineries. You can enjoy the wine tastings and also cooking demonstrations and classes, because it's not just about the wine, it's also about the culinary experiences as well. Cape Town, the average stay in Cape Town is 4 nights. This gives you 3 full days of sightseeing. Most of our travelers take part in the Cape Point tour, which is a full day tour down to the Cape of Good Hope, seeing the little boulder penguins. And then also they can do a shark cage dive, or they can do that either scheduled or full day private wine tour. And of course, on their free day, a lot of travelers take advantage of the hop-on, hop-off bus that can take you up to Table Mountain. And of course, this is quite popular. The history, a little bit of history of the South Africa's winelands. They first started producing local wines in 1659. The climate, cooling, wind, soil, and expertise are the perfect ingredients for creating wine. While most of the wines are familiar, they have their very own viticultural cross called Pinotage. In 1652, the Dutch East India Company dispatched Jan van Riebeeck to erect a fort and lay out a garden in Table Bay. 5 years later, the first farmers started to work their own land, and in 1659, Van Riebeeck recorded the making of the first wine in the Cape. The South African wine industry is still heavily focused on the Western Cape region. With its Mediterranean climate, soils, and the influence of the Atlantic and Indian Oceans there, it's ideal for grape growing. The first wines from the South Africa winelands were made from the indigenous wild grapes, but later French vines were planted, including Chenin Blanc and Muscat. South Africa is really a year-round destination. Harvest time, of course, is in February or March. That's when the winemakers are really quite busy. June, July, and August is really their winter, so just remember that when traveling. It's still a lovely time to go, but again, the Cape region can be a bit windy and chilly, and a bit of rain. So here you see some great photo of the wine harvest, and again, the workers working and picking the grapes. And we're going to now talk about some of the different areas outside of Cape Town where grape growing and the winemaking is quite prevalent. One, and the oldest, is called Constantia. It's really called Cape Town's Vineyard. Constantia Valley is the oldest wine growing area in southern Africa and features superb wine estates, fantastic shopping opportunities, and a variety of excellent restaurants. It's located at the center of Cape Peninsula. The Constantia Valley stretches up the southeast slopes of the Table Mountain National Park, and it's just a 10-minute drive from Cape Town's city center. Since the days of one of the first governors, Constantia Valley has been famous for its superb wines. Today, a number of South Africa's finest vineyards can be found in the valley. While a number of travelers like to stay down in the waterfront area of Cape Town, Constantia is a very relaxing area to spend your nights. Still close to Cape Town, it offers some wonderful five-star accommodations with wine tasting so close. The valley was the cradle of quality winemaking in South Africa, and the name Constantia is linked with the most famous wines ever produced in this country. Enjoyed by Napoleon Bonaparte and royalty in the 18th century, Constantia Valley's unique combination of terroir and climate produces some of the world's finest wine that continue to this day to win accolades and international awards for consistently high standard and quality. And moving on to Stellenbosch. Now remember, these areas are about an hour's drive from Cape Town. So again, it makes it ideal for a full day visit to the Winelands. And of course, we always encourage our travelers to spend a couple of nights because there's so much scenery, there's so much shopping, there's restaurants, and of course the wine to be enjoyed. The town of Stellenbosch dates back to 1679, and the first vineyards were planted during that year. The Stellenbosch wine route was founded in 1971 and is divided into 5 sub-routes, and is the second oldest wine producing region in South Africa. With over 200 wine producers in the valley, this is truly the pulsating heart of the country's wine industry, where both connoisseurs and novice wine drinkers can equally enjoy the fruits of the vine. Stellenbosch is also renowned as a center for learning and is home to yet another proud heritage, Stellenbosch University, one of the top 4 research universities in South Africa. And being a university town, the cafe culture is quite lively. There are more than 80 restaurants offering the most basic dishes to over-the-top and 5-star dining experiences set both in the town and on many of the wine farms. Sorry, little technical difficulty there with the slides. So here you see some of the many art galleries and some of the shopping that's available in Stellenbosch. It has an amazing variety of fine art and craft venues, and it's in a town with public sculpture and art on every corner. Among some of the most important fine art collections are those of the Sasol Art Gallery and the Rupert Art Museum. There are no less than 8 commercial galleries near the Udewerf Hotel, which is actually featured in one of our programs, and works with Cape landscapes to contemporary painting. Among the shopping, you have goods available from apparel to local leather to local craft, jewelry, accessory, books, and many souvenir mementos. Moving on to Franschhoek. This has a very French flavor because this area was actually settled by the French. It's nestled between towering mountains in the beautiful Cape Winelands lies the magnificent Franschhoek Valley. This is the food and wine heartland of the country where splendid wines are grown and our top chefs create international cuisine. Here, breathtaking scenery, warm hospitality, and world-class cuisine and the finest wines all combine to create lasting memories. Spectacular vineyards covered these mountain slopes settled more than 300 years ago by the Huguenots, who brought with them their age-old French wine and food culture. This valley is rich in history, centered around a beautiful, picturesque village of friendly, welcoming people. Driving into Franschhoek, you'll notice that most of the farms still bear their original French names and are usually complete with a spectacular Cape Dutch homestead, towering oaks and luscious vineyards. There are a variety of cellars from small boutique wineries that cater for those in search of something unique, and large cellars that offer organized tours and conducted tastings. The Franschhoek Wine Tram is something new over the last several years. It's a hop-on, hop-off tour, and it's one of the best ways to discover the true essence of the Franschhoek Valley. Picturesque vineyards, breathtaking scenery, warm hospitality, world-class cuisine, fine wines, and a 300-year-old history. Passengers aboard the hop-on, hop-off tour will experience a unique and leisurely way to see the Franschhoek Valley as a journey through the rolling vineyards, and of course you can get on and get off and have your wine tasting, and then hop back on to the next one, and never worry about having to drive. Paarl is another region that's really quite known for wines. It's the third oldest town in South Africa. Its attractive Cape Dutch homes, famous vineyards, and glistening mountain range beckon year-round. Paarl is one of South Africa's most famous wine-producing areas. It's located just 37 miles inland from Cape Town and just north of Stellenbosch. It is home to some of the Western Cape's best-known wineries. The town is constructed at the base of this peak. It was named Paarl after the shining mountain. Today, the region boasts some of the best wines in South Africa and is home to such important historical sites as the Afrikaans Language Museum and the Drakenstein Prison, which held Nelson Mandela during his final years of captivity. Paarl is also home to the Great Red Route, a tour that offers tasting from some of the world-class red wine cellars. They offer Cabernet Sauvignon, Pinotage, Chardonnay, and Shiraz. And here's a picture of inside one of the cellars, KWV Cathedral Cellar at the Paarl Wine Emporium, which is also an excellent wine, and it's available here in the U.S. Another beautiful photo of the vineyards. And of course, there's a nice lined up bottles of bubbly all ready for us. So now, what's it like to do a wine tasting in South Africa? The wineries offer cellar tours and, of course, tastings, usually offering their most well-known wines. If there are more than 2 or 4 people, it's best to book your table in advance. SAA Vacations offers scheduled wine tours where you are with others. These include 2 or 3 wine tastings. However, the trend is now to book a full-day private wine tour. The advantage here is that if you're interested in more red than white or vice versa, the guide can concentrate on those wine visits that are of more interest to you. This is especially important to make sure those wineries are open on the day that you have available for your tour. Besides wine and cheese, wine tastings now offer wine and chocolate tastings. It's really fun to learn which wines go with which chocolates, and the wineries are all now making their own chocolates. Even more fun is to bring back those chocolates with you. The chocolate and wine tasting is from right here that you see is from Waterford Wineries. And now here's one from Landsrack. So they're all getting on the bandwagon offering chocolates. Landsrack has a wonderful hotel and spa. It's also included in one of our programs and called Cape and Safari Culinary Delights. But they have an absolutely lovely afternoon wine tasting, which is actually, really, really fun. Or if you're not staying at the hotel, you can still go in for a wine tasting. So This is one of our wine packages, which we're going to talk about. It's called Sommelier's Choice. This package actually, it doesn't follow the norm of a standard Winelands tour. The tour has exclusive backstage access where you'll have the opportunity to engage and interact with the winemakers in their creative spaces. So we offer, of course, um, uh, several nights at the Vineyard Hotel and going into Stellenbosch, and you stay right in the village of Stellenbosch at the Oudewerf Hotel. So this is really kind of the best what we have to offer as far as a backstage private tour. And of course, you can always add that into whatever itinerary you're traveling on, and then add an excellent safari experience. So this price, $27.50, actually it does include your flight from the U.S. And here's some beautiful scenery outside Stellenbosch. And of course, you get to meet with the wine growers and also meet the winemakers. You just have to avoid that January, February time when they're all busy harvesting their grapes. And of course, we have technical wine tastings with Cape Wine Master. We have a bunch of our travelers here with our Cape Wine Master, Alan Mullins, who actually is very well known and gives all the details about the wine and also what goes with what. It's always fun to enjoy wine with your friends. It's nothing better. Um, or you can just enjoy wine on your own. You can have a wine tasting out in the middle of the winelands. You can have go to like 3 or 4 wine tastings on your own, and you can see they all have lovely restaurants. So besides just having a wine tasting, they all have great restaurants where you can enjoy lunch or dinner. One of our more successful packages, the Wine and Safari, it starts from $3,699. You explore the wine region at your leisure and indulge in the best the Winelands has to offer. It includes a stay in Cape Town, Stellenbosch, and of course a safari at the well-known Kapama Private Game Reserve. The Cape and Safari Culinary Delights from $4,999. This includes some of South Africa's top restaurants and the wine farms. It includes 9 wine tastings. You can include some of the finest restaurants, and of course all breakfast, all dinners, and 6 lunches included. You can enjoy wine even if you're not in the Cape Winelands. Sabi Sabi Earth Lodge, which is featured in several of our packages, actually has an incredible wine cellar where you can have a private dinner or a dinner for your group. This is like you go down actually a real cellar, and actually you are out in the bush. So what great better experience there is to have a private dinner in the bush in a wine cellar. And Kariga, Settlers Drift, is another one of the properties in the Eastern Cape near Port Elizabeth. So that's right at the end of that wine route. Settlers Drift is a new property located on the Kariga Private Game Reserve. You approach the property by boat on a river, which really makes it interesting. This is a 5-star lodge, and you see over on the wall all the bottles of wine, and actually that wall moves and opens up into the bush. So you can actually at dinner see all the wine. During the day, the wall opens up. And we can't forget the train experience. Rovos Rail, which is one of our partners, they offer incredible South African wine on their rail journeys. And the one and only in Cape Town, another one of our partner properties. This is home to Nobu and also Ruben's Restaurant. Ruben Riffel is one of the well-known South African chefs. Here's another wall full of wine down in his restaurant. And of course, we have Taste and Touch South Africa, one of our programs starting from $4,399. This package includes 2 nights in Cape Town, staying in the Winelands, an authentic traditional cooking course. They offer 2. One is actually in Cape Town with the very famous Fadela Talker, which you see her photo here. She actually does a cooking demonstration, and you can also participate and have a wonderful lunch. So some of the most popular programs and trends that we have in our product are 3 programs. These are our top sellers: the Affordable South Africa, which starts at $2,499 per person; the South Africa and Beyond, which is a 5-star program that includes Victoria Falls and also the Best of South Africa. Young professionals, honeymooners, and families with young children we're finding are traveling to South Africa. Clients are adding a lot more adventures, such as shark cage diving and, of course, the culinary and wine experiences into their itinerary. We have more groups. 10 to 15 passengers are traveling together. The average stay in South Africa is 4 nights in Cape Town plus 3 nights on safari. And, of course, Victoria Falls and Botswana are the usual extensions. And also for repeat visitors, Garden Route and KwaZulu-Natal and Botswana on their own are all great second-time trips. Here are the partners we work with, partner properties. We always tell the travelers that they can book any property, but this is where they're going to get the most value. And that's what everyone's looking for nowadays, value. So they're all well-known properties located throughout Southern Africa. And just remember, we can book any property, but this is where the clients you're going to get your best value. So what sets us apart? We have a passion for what we're selling. We have a very creative team here, reinventing how Southern Africa is promoted and sold. We like to think we make Southern Africa travel affordable. We have out-of-box thinking in creating those specialty programs for family, culture, and adventure, and a variety of suggested itineraries. They can all be customized, or we can create that totally tailor-made package for you. We don't sell the world, but we specialize in East and Southern Africa. We have a team of Africa specialists here waiting to help you. We're always open to new ideas and trends, and because we're a small company, we're very flexible in accommodating clients to meet their travel needs. So a little bit about our website. You can learn a lot from our website. You can also see our live chat. So anytime you have a question or a question about a particular program or any question at all about travel to East and Southern Africa, you can just click on the live chat and we'll be happy to answer those questions for you. So here's to your next trip, South Africa, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for joining us today.